Hello, thank you for joining us today as we share our presentation on promoting language teachers' agency through plurilingual, action-oriented, and technology-mediated approaches. My name is Danielle Hunter, and I'm a PhD student at OISE, and I have the pleasure of beginning this presentation on behalf of Dr. Enrica Piccard and PhD candidate Sanzana Rahman from the University of Toronto and from PhD student Jose Luis Ortiz Soria.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our presentation.
And we'll thank you, Jose, for starting the presentation for us. As you can see, this project is a collaboration between 4 universities, U of T, Ottawa, York, and McGill, and funded by SSHRC. So for this presentation, we're going to take a look at 3 key areas. First, we're going to begin by providing some background on the project, including the project objectives and its phases. Next, we're going to look at the self-reflection tool, which specifically explored challenges and opportunities across the 3 dimensions of the project, which is action-oriented, plurilingual, and tech-mediated pedagogies. And we'll then look at future directions, including one of our key goals of the project, which is the development of a toolkit and the implications of this research. Three projects played an important role in the creation of the project that we're going to speak to you about today, which is the Advancing Agency in Language Education project, which we refer to as AALE. The first was a project that began in 2015 and went till 2018, called Linguistic and Cultural Diversity Reinvented, in its short form, LinkDeal. That project defined an innovative pedagogical framework that embedded action-oriented approach, plurilingualism, and technology-mediated practices. It also consisted of the development of an online pedagogical resources, including scenarios, as well as an e-portfolio with reflective and interactive self-assessment tools. From that project, data was collected from 25 Canadian teachers that informed future research projects. From this project extended into 2 Italian iterations, which you see here for the Supporting Online Language Learning project from 2020 to 2021, and the Promoting Pedagogical Innovation project. LinkDeal was used as a framework for these projects, as well as Light, which was used as a tool. There were 253 participants, whose languages included English, French, Spanish, Italian, and German. And from that, different scenarios were used in different contexts, that led to the creation of a book called La Classe Plurilingue, which is available in Italian. From these 3 projects, different challenges and opportunities emerged, including the development of agency, and how educators embraced pedagogical innovation through the 3 pillars. We did see some resisted change, preferring to lean on a more traditional approach to language education, including putting grammar at the forefront and falling more towards a monolingual disposition. Our participants also spoke about curricular restraints that impact their ability to embrace pedagogical innovation. And we also heard about a lack of time and training on the action-oriented approach and plurilingualism. So from this data, the AALE project was created, which began in 2021 and is ongoing today. So on this slide, you'll see some of the outcomes that came from the LinkDeal project, which then fed into the goals of the AALE project. Through LinkDeal, it became clear that there was challenges of refining teacher beliefs and outdated practices like I had mentioned about the monolinguistic disposition, as well as issues related to centering language instruction on grammar, etc. That led to the goal of looking to investigate the interplay between teacher beliefs and practices in this newest project. We also saw the opportunity of teacher agency and the openness of educators to embrace pedagogical innovation. And that led to our new project, where the goal is to encourage teacher agency through a professional development community. And finally, with Linked Deal, we also saw immense success of innovative materials that were co-constructed with teachers. And if you haven't taken a look, I'd really encourage you to take a look at the scenarios on the Linked Deal project to be able to see some of the innovation that came from that project. And from there, we set as one of our goals for AALE the development of a toolkit of innovative practices designed by teachers to support educators in embracing pedagogical innovation through the 3 pillars of the project. Like the projects that came before the AALE project, this project is anchored in complexity theory. For this project, learning is seen as a non-linear activity. Learners are seen as social agency, and that all is interacting within complex adaptive systems, which are dynamic. As I mentioned before, the 3 pillars for this project are action orientation, plurilingualism, and technology. As you can see, there are 4 phases to this project. We're going to be taking a look at phase 1 and 2 as part of this presentation. Our first phase consisted of the creation of 4 hubs and using Q methodology to get a sense of teacher beliefs as it relates to the 3 pillars. And there was another presentation that looks more closely at Q methodology. So if you're interested in looking at that, you'll be able to find that on the CIRL website. Through the Q methodology, which included the sorting of statements, we were able to garner data. Plus, we also looked to use mixed methods by also conducting focus group interviews with participants to better understand why they placed certain statements in certain priorities, as was determined by the format of Q methodology. From there, we entered phase 2 of this project, which included a multifaceted teacher self-reflection tool, as well as a language survey. In future presentations, we hope to be able to share with you more what we've done through phase 3 and phase 4. So we wanted to provide you a bit of a snapshot of what the teacher self-reflection tool looked like. It began with the purpose really during the data collection phase was to get a sense of what's happening in classrooms. What's happening in classrooms. Now, our ideal would have been to go into classrooms, but given the challenges that exist, especially when it comes to working with younger learners, we decided that we needed an innovative way to hear what educators are doing in their classrooms. So this is why we created a self-reflection tool and template to help guide teachers in their reflection of their practices. In order to explain or to guide teachers through this process, we created a video tutorial walking educators through the process. We recruited participants in the 4 hubs of the project, which I should mention are from 4 different parts of Canada. We then invited educators to collect videos, audio, materials, lesson plans, whatever they felt would help our team to better understand what they're doing within their classrooms. We had 16 participants who had teaching background in ESL, FSL, and in German. For our data analysis, we created a checklist for the development of 3 pillars. So for the researchers who were looking at this, we wanted to ensure that we were working from a clear understanding of what was meant by the 3 pillars. We then created a self-reflection analysis guide to ensure that researchers were using the same approach. And that resulted in coding of what the educators had submitted to us, along with an analysis. The findings that came from this teacher self-reflection tool was the identification of challenges and opportunities across the 3 dimensions, the identification of current realities of practice, as well as some promising practices that will feed into the creation of the toolkit, which will be developed with educators. I'm going to now turn it over to my colleague, Sanzana, to talk about the findings in more detail.
Thank you, Danielle. Now, from the data collected from the self-reflection tool, I'd like to start discussing the key findings. We found various opportunities for plurilingualism. We discovered that the participant teachers encouraged the use of multiple languages in various tasks. This approach allowed students to include languages beyond their primary repertoire. Students were also often prompted to reflect on the responsibility of listeners to understand speakers with different accents or communication styles, even within the same language. The opportunities presented by plurilingualism were very relevant for the instructors as well. For instance, as you can see in the slide, an ESL instructor reflected on her efforts to recognize and value the diverse linguistic and cultural background of both herself and her learners. Although not always explicitly showcased in the materials, her reflection revealed her efforts to make use of multiple languages in the classroom to facilitate learning and communication. At the same time, the challenges the teachers face with plurilingualism in classroom come forward in their reflection. While teachers acknowledge students' diverse linguistics and cultural repertoire, these resources are not often integrated into actual classroom practices. This means that students' native languages are rarely used beyond clarifying difficult terms or explaining difficult concepts. Also, there's a noticeable lack of awareness and understanding of plurilingual pedagogy. Finally, there is always a case of lack of institutional support. Without the backing of their institutions, the teachers often struggle to implement and sustain plurilingual strategies effectively in their practice. Again, the self-reflection tool highlighted significant opportunities as well as some prominent challenges for technology integration in educational practices. So technology enables teachers to research and create digital materials, enhancing the learning experience. By integrating technology into the lessons, teachers can encourage students to actively engage with digital tools, fostering a more interactive and dynamic learning environment. Playing a central role in various aspects of education, technology aids in presenting materials, conducting assessment, facilitating students' research, among other classroom activities. Lastly, the integration of digital tools promote an inclusive environment in classroom. For instance, the teachers used images from the internet that represent families from different cultural and racial backgrounds. This essentially ensures that all students see themselves reflected in their learning materials. This again fosters a more inclusive classroom environment. On the other hand, many teachers are not that confident with tech integration. This lack of confidence is compounded by limited awareness of the softwares and platforms that are supported and available to them by their institutions. Moreover, there is a clear need for more guidance for students who struggle with technology. To manage this, teachers often resort to using tools that they know well, like Jamboard, Google Slides, because they are relatively simple and they save time. The structure, routine, and format of class delivery can also restrict the integration of new technologies as well. Now, I would like to delve into discussing the opportunities of integrating action-oriented approaches in language education context. Teachers reflect on structuring individual tasks with clear action-oriented goals while ensuring each activity has a real-world purpose, sort of mirroring real-life scenarios. By the use of authentic materials, learning becomes more relevant and engaging for students. Teachers also adapt tasks based on student engagement. Centering the activities around real-life actions helps to motivate and prepare students for real-world challenges. Additionally, there is a growing emphasis on professional development sessions, particularly around the CFR, Common European Framework of References, and UTL, Universal Design for Learning, in order to better support diverse learning needs. As we continue our discussion on the challenges of adopting AOA, I would like to highlight several key reflections from our participants. The current course structure is heavily grammar focused, with teachers spending much of their time on grammar instruction and drills, overshadowing the AOA components. Meanwhile, misconceptions about AOA and curricular restrictions further hinder its implementation. Finally, students' resistance to AOA, as they are accustomed to traditional methods, present a significant challenge. The implications of this study are multifold. The ALA project places teachers at the heart of pedagogical innovation, encouraging their proactive engagement in developing new teaching methods. By viewing teachers as generators of knowledge, this project fosters collaboration between educators and researchers, creating a shared space for exchanging ideas and creating solutions. At its very core, ALA project is about empowering teachers as the agents of change. It puts forward teacher agency as a driving force for transforming attitudes and practices in educational settings. This initiative essentially aims to foster meaningful shifts in teaching practices. With these implications in mind, I would like to end with addressing the next phases of this study, which include the landscape survey, toolkit development, and the evaluation of the toolkit. The landscape survey is available in 4 languages, and you are welcome to participate by following the QR code, as you can see in the slide. Thank you all for listening. Here are the references. And for more detailed insights, please visit our project website by scanning the QR code, and you can stay connected with us following the social media handles stated below the slide here. Thank you all.